Each morning, when I watch the sunrise, I say to myself, today is a new opportunity to change my life in a big way. The new dawn has wiped the slate clean, and I can start all over again. No matter what has been going on in my life, no matter what has happened yesterday, today is a new day. Hello, it's so good to see you again. Thank you so very much for stopping by and sharing some time with me today. This is Sandra Hart at Life Over 60. Last night I had a really exciting night. I sat and watched my granddaughter's basketball game that was streaming on the internet. Now, McLean, I am so proud of her. She is a sophomore in college, and her team at Transylvania University, the women's basketball team, just won their final game, and they are going now into the NCAA championship. So she is flying to Dallas to continue the games that will hopefully make their team a championship. The Transylvania Transy Pioneers, as they're called. I think they call themselves Bats, but they're a great group of young women, and I'm so excited for them. And I texted McLean last night and said, "Whoopee, I'm so happy that your team won," and it was such a nail biter. And I said that you'll be going on to Dallas and quite possibly win the championship for women's basketball. And I said, if you do, your life is really going to change. And I just love young women, and I like to see them doing something with their lives. And then I thought about us, and I thought, there are people who are maybe going to graduate and they're going to start something new. Maybe you have just retired and you are planning a different life. Maybe you're a widow or a widower. So many things that happen to us in our lives, and we have to change, don't we? But I don't want people to think that this change is going to be bad, because change can be the most exciting thing in your life. And if you are just thinking about it and you don't actually make the steps to change, then you will go absolutely nowhere. The secret, and I told this to my granddaughter, the secret to moving forward is to do. Don't just think about it, but do something about it. And I think that we are sometimes afraid, and we hesitate, and we sit and we dream, and nothing ever happens in our lives. No matter what it is, even if you want to take a vacation, if you want to do a cruise, whatever it is, maybe you're thinking about relocating and moving to another area. Well, it's never going to happen unless we do. Sitting on the plains of hesitations, people just lay down and their dreams die. And I think that is so important for all of us, because as we get older, sometimes we're a little afraid and we're hesitant, right, to change your lives. Well, I have changed mine, as I talked about in my other video. I really am more on a schedule. I'm getting up every morning. I'm watching the sunrise, and I went to the beach this morning, and it was just so beautiful, and I got a lot of wonderful pictures of people sitting there enjoying their lives and meditating. But they got up and they are doing. And that's really an important thing for all of us to think about, doing. I wrote a book last year called Finding Happiness for Yourself. Nobody really cares if you're miserable. And that's the honest to goodness truth. You may have family members who really love you and care, but on the whole, on the most part, no one gives a hoot about your happiness and your dreams. You have to take that responsibility on your own shoulders. You have to care about yourself. You have to care about your dreams because honestly, nobody cares about you as much as you. That's something that we all have to think about as we get older. And even if we're younger, you have to realize going through life and things that you are interested in, you have to do. And you have to really care about you because very few people are going to care deeply enough to get you to move on to where you want to be in life. I know I've talked so many times about, when I was young and my mother forced me to audition for Romper Room. And I really didn't care about myself, care about or have faith in my dreams as much as I should have. But there was one person who really cared, and that was my mother. And as I got older, I realized, looking at the world around me, that the the person that really cares about you and your welfare and your dreams the most is you. In order to find happiness, you really have to care for you. You and I know that there have been so many books written on self-help, trying to get people to lead a better life. But I noticed that most of those books really focus on goals. They're goal-oriented. But you know what I personally think? I personally think that we have to focus more on our habits. Because if we have good, healthy habits in our lives, then it's so much easier to get to your goal. I mean, it's so unrealistic to focus on all of these heavy goals. And if you miss the mark, you really feel like a loser, don't you? When we over obsess on our goals, it honestly is counterproductive. And what I found in my life is more helpful is for me to be thinking more about my healthy lifestyle, my healthy habits, and the things that are really important to me in my life. And do you know what? When you do that, I have found that my goals come along really naturally. It took me a long time really to figure out who I was. When I was young, I really had very low self-esteem for some reason. I kind of know the root of it. But it took me years to figure out exactly who I was and to gain the confidence of believing in me. And I think if you have granddaughters or grandsons or children or for yourself, the most important thing that you can do also is to have self-awareness, to try to find out just who you are. I think figuring out who you are is so important if you want to make any changes in your life. Because once you find out who you are, then you know what direction you want to go in. And I know when I was a young woman, I had very low self-esteem because I'd been ill for a long time and I just didn't think I was worthy. It took me a long time to be able to be self-aware. But once I was able to understand myself and understand why I didn't feel so good about myself, then it really helped me a lot. And it all comes down to, for me, I know when I was a young person, it all boils down to if you don't know who you are, then how in the world are you going to know where you want to go in life and what changes you want to make in your life? I do know that your life will change in a major way if you do something, do anything, but just get started and have self-awareness and don't focus on too many things. Know who you are and just narrow that focus so that you can move ahead in life. And never forget, the most important person who honestly cares about you and your dreams and what direction you want to go in life and how you want to change your life, the most important person and the number one is you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and welcome to all of my new subscribers. I hope you will subscribe and join in on the conversation, and I wish my granddaughter and her team lots of luck in this NCAA championship games that they are going to be having to play in the final part of the series. And I am so proud of each and every one of you that you really care about your lives and you care about making someone else's day just a little bit better. And I know we're all sharing the love. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you will visit me again next Tuesday for another video conversation. Take care, and please know that you are never alone.